Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is What If Naruto Was Betrayed by Konoha and Regret Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Naruto was carrying Sasuke on his back and was on his way to Konoha. It wasn't an easy fight, but he was able to knock him out and was almost at the village. Naruto was hoping the village might treat him better now that he had saved their precious Uchiha. When he got to the gate, however, there were people already waiting there. Naruto saw their faces turn into frowns. He immediately heard people shouting things like, "The demon cripple the Uchiha," or, "I knew that boy was trouble." All the while, Naruto's anger was rising. "Naruto, you baka! What did you do?" yelled Sakura, furious with Naruto. "Your mission was to bring back Sasuke, not beat him into submission," yelled Ino, seeing Naruto drop Sasuke onto the ground. "It's not my fault he wanted to fight. He wouldn't come back out of free will, so I had to take action," said Naruto, but realized that his words were falling on deaf ears. "Let's get him while he's weak," said a villager, getting agreeing gestures from the others. "Make him pay for what he's done," said another villager, moving towards Naruto. "Stop it," said Hinata, running out of the crowd and getting in front of Naruto. "What are you doing, Hinata? He hurt Sasuke," said Sakura, seeing Hinata scowl at her. Sasuke wanted to leave the village. Naruto-kun had to do whatever it took to get him back. "I won't let you punish him for doing his job," said Hinata, extending her arms as a sign of protection. "Demon lover!" yelled someone in the crowd, as he threw a rock at Hinata. Hinata wasn't going to move, and braced herself for the rock to hit. To her surprise, Naruto moved in front of Hinata and caught the rock. "Don't you dare," said Naruto, crushing the rock in his hand, turning it into dust. "Naruto-kun," said Hinata softly to herself. "I won't allow you to hurt someone because they're protecting me. If you want my head, come take it," said Naruto, getting ready for the rush. The mob got 2 steps in before something stopped them. More specifically, a giant wall of sand. Gaara appeared behind Naruto and made a sand platform. "Get on. We need to get you out of here," said Gaara, giving Naruto his hand and helping onto the platform. "Wait, what about Hinata?" asked Naruto, as he didn't want to leave her in front of an angry mob. "Kankuro and Temari will help her. You need to get to the hospital," said Gaara, while Naruto nodded and they left the gate. Naruto was lucky enough to run into Shizune at the hospital. She took him to a room and gave him medical attention. Gaara guarded the door in case the people tried anything. Thanks to Shizune and Kyuubi, Naruto was back on his feet in no time. About that time Tsunade came through the door. "Hey Ba-chan. This wasn't exactly the welcome I had expected from my return," said Naruto, while Tsunade had a look of sadness. "Naruto, I have some bad news," said Tsunade still with a saddened expression. "What do you mean?" asked Naruto, as Shizune was equally curious. "I'm sorry Naruto, but by order of the council, you are to be exiled from Konoha," said Tsunade, seeing everyone in the room in shock. "What? Exiled for what? Roughing up the Uchiha?" asked Naruto, angry at the utter stupidity of the council. "You know how they are. They pamper and spoil the boy silly bakas," said Tsunade, but Naruto was still in rage. "Isn't there anything you can do? You're the Hokage for Kami's sake," said Naruto, clutching his fist. "I did the best I could. They wanted to kill you, but I managed to convince them to banish you instead of that. The council has grown too powerful for me to stop them. You have until morning to leave." "I'm sorry Naruto," said Tsunade, disappointed in herself for having this happen. "Fine, if I am to leave then so be it, but tell the council this. They have made a grave mistake," said Naruto, walking out of the room. As he left, Gaara entered the room and looked at Tsunade. "This is not right," said Gaara, getting a nod from Tsunade. My sensei allowed the council to have too much power. If I had fixed it, maybe this wouldn't have happened, said Tsunade, watching Gaara walk to the door. I'll have to report this back in Suna. I would expect them to end our alliance since Naruto is a friend there too, said Gaara, since people in Suna liked Naruto when Gaara told them about him. Hopefully that will wake up the council. The chances seem slim though, said Tsunade, seeing Gaara nod before looking back at her. Take care of yourself, Hokage-sama, said Gaara, walking out of the room and to inform his siblings of what had just happened. With Naruto. Naruto was walking to his apartment, all the while seeing the people's smug look on their faces. It was obvious that his banishment had been heard throughout the village. Naruto ignored some taunts thrown his way and went to his apartment. When he got there, he was a little surprised to see Kakashi at his door. Why are you waiting for me, Kakashi-sensei? Asked Naruto, walking up to his sensei. I wanted to check something out with you, Naruto, said Kakashi, his voice was a little skeptical. Then ask about it. In case you haven't heard, I've been banished. So, I need to get some things together, said Naruto, folding his arms, impatient. Naruto, started Kakashi, did you fight Sasuke because you wanted to? Oh, for Kami's sake, not you too, said Naruto, getting annoyed. Sasuke has been unconscious since you brought him here to the village, and the council is in an uproar and so they sent me here, said Kakashi, seeing Naruto's anger rising. I'm going to say this one more time. Sasuke didn't want to come back to Konoha, so I had to engage him. Now if you're done I have to pack, said Naruto, walking past Kakashi. Don't you turn your back on me, said Kakashi, putting a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Kakashi started to feel an evil chakra roll off Naruto. Naruto turned his head slowly to the left to look at Kakashi. His eyes were that of the Kyuubi. Take your hand off me, Kakashi, said Naruto in a deadly voice. Be very careful who you order, Naruto, said Kakashi hesitantly, taking hand off Naruto. You should take your own advice, said Naruto, opening the door to his apartment and then shutting it behind him. Naruto started to pack some essentials into a backpack. He just got done when there was a knock at the door. He opened the door to a slightly out-of-breath Hinata. Is it true? Asked Hinata, eyes with hope. Did they really banish you? Yes, the Bakas really did it, said Naruto, seeing Hinata having a sad expression. This is awful. How can they just send you away after all that you've done? Asked Hinata, while Naruto shook his head. I don't know. Someone on the council wants me gone. And I bet it's for something beyond my control, said Naruto, looking away slightly. You mean the Kyuubi, don't you? Asked Hinata, seeing Naruto look at her with wide eyes. How do you know about that? Asked Naruto, seeing she was a little nervous. I heard some of the adults call you it. I asked my father about it and he told me that you were Kyuubi in human form. I was a little frightened. Then, there was that time I was getting bullied and you interfered. Do you remember? Asked Hinata, Naruto nodding at her. Yeah, I was walking around when I heard them talking down to you and you were crying, said Naruto, the thought making him angry. After you helped me, I thought, how could he be a demon? So I went to the Hokage and asked him. He was mad at my father for telling, but told me that you were merely the jailer of Kyuubi. That made more sense to me. And as we got older, I started to see that he was right, and that you were a good person, despite the way you were treated, said Hinata, smiling at Naruto while also slightly blushing. Good old man Hokage. Even in death you're still doing good, thought Naruto, smiling to himself. But I guess I'm the only person who know this and embraces it. I'm sorry this has happened to you, Naruto-kun, said Hinata, looking at Naruto. It's not your fault, Hinata. I wish I knew this about you earlier. I would have been around you rather than Sakura. If it's any conciliation, Hinata, I think you're cute, said Naruto, seeing Hinata blush while blushing himself. Really? I like you too, Naruto-kun, said Hinata, while Naruto walked closer to her. How much do you like me? Asked Naruto, inching closer to Hinata, while she, surprisingly, did the same. More than you know, said Hinata in almost a whisper since they were an inch from each other. They moved their lips closer and closer to the other. Naruto was wondering how he had missed all this about Hinata. Hinata was begging herself not to faint. Then they felt the other's lips their own. They let themselves be pulled into the kiss's passion. Only after a while did they split from each other. Hinata then pulled Naruto into a hug. I wish you didn't have to go, said Hinata, feeling Naruto's arms around her pull. I promise you, said Naruto, lifting Hinata's chin, I will come back for you. I'll be waiting then, said Hinata, kissing him one last time. You should probably go. I don't want you to get jumped by some people who hate me, said Naruto, after pulling away from Hinata. Hinata nodded and left the room. Naruto decided to turn in early. He had a big day tomorrow. The next day, Naruto woke up, got dressed, and was out the door in record time. He wanted to be past the gate before any of the villagers could criticize him. He was surprised to see that no one was out yet and made it to the gate with no problems. What's your plan now? Asked Kyuubi, resting in the boy's mind. I don't know. I could probably go to Wave Country or go to Suna with Gaara, thought Naruto, going over the options in his head. He was pulled out of his thoughts when a group of Anbu appeared. The council couldn't settle for me being banished, could they? Said Naruto, getting himself ready. Naruto Uzumaki, you are coming with us. Outmaster wants to see you, said the leader of the group of 4. I'm afraid I'll have to pass on his offer, said Naruto, taking off his backpack. It is not an option, said the leaders, as the group prepared to take Naruto. As they were about to fight, 2 figures appeared from the shadows. They both had on black cloaks with red clouds. Naruto knew them instantly as Itachi Uchiha and Kisame Hoshigaki. Naruto is coming with us actually, said Itachi in his usual calm voice. If you interfere, we will kill you, said the leader, though he didn't want to fight these 2. Well then, I guess you better get started, said Kisame, drawing Samahata. The 2 forces engage one another. All the while Naruto was just standing there. Let's get out of here while they're fighting, said Kyuubi, wanting to get far away from the fray. Naruto, however, just continued to stand there, watching the fight. More specifically, the Akatsuki. And was making a plan in his head. A plan that had a slim chance of working, but if it did, he could become strong enough to take down Konoha. He was brought out of his thinking when an Anbu's jutsu caught Kisame. His feet were stuck in a type of mud jutsu and the Anbu was about to deliver the final blow. Naruto had to make a choice now, and he made it in an instant. Naruto pulled out a kunai and threw it right at the Anbu. It nailed him right between his eyes, and fell to the ground dead. Kisame got himself free and decapitated another Anbu. Afterwards, Kisame gave Naruto a raised eyebrow before being joined by Itachi after dispatching the rest of the Anbu. Why'd you help me, kid? Asked Kisame, as Itachi was now raising his eyebrow as well. I want to talk to your boss. I have a proposition for him, said Naruto, seeing both of the Akatsuki members look at one another. Kid, what are you doing? Asked Kyuubi, as he was thinking that the kid had lost his mind. Itachi and Kisame turned to one another, and started to discuss the situation. Meanwhile, Naruto was talking to Kyuubi. Why are you wanting to talk to their boss? Have you forgotten that you are what they're after? Asked Kyuubi, stumped at the moves that his vessel was making. Just trust me on this one. I have a plan, thought Naruto, seeing Kyuubi reluctantly nod. Come with us, Naruto, said Itachi finally after talking with Kisame. Naruto walked behind Itachi and Kisame as they left the land of fire. They kept walking until they made their way to Aim. After waking through the drenched village, they came to a tall tower. They made their way to about the top when they came to a door. Inside, Naruto saw 7 other people with Akatsuki cloaks on. They were all giving him a look of curiousness. At the end of the room was a woman with blue hair with an origami flower in her hair. Next to her was a man with orange hair and 6 nose piercings. But the strangest quality about him was that his eyes were gray with circles around the pupil and outward. Itachi, Kisame, what is the Kyuubi Jinchuriki doing here? Asked Pain, narrowing his eyes at Itachi. He requested to see you. Says he has some sort of proposition, said Itachi, seeing Pain's eyes continue to narrow at him. And you thought that gave him the right to see me? Said Pain. Anger was building in his voice. There is something else. When we went to capture him, another group of Anbu had come to take him. We engaged them and I got caught in a jutsu. As the enemy was about to kill me, the Jinchuriki took out the enemy. I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him, said Kisame, Pain's eyes widening along with everyone else. Is this true, Itachi? Asked Pain, as all eyes fell on Itachi. Yes, it is. Naruto saved Kisame, said Itachi, all the while Pain was thinking in his head. Very well. What is your proposition, Naruto? Asked Pain, as Naruto moved closer to the man. It involves me joining the Akatsuki, said Naruto, gaining mixed emotions from everyone in the room. An interesting request. What's the downside? Asked Pain, as he knew it would come at a price. You have to stop hunting and killing Jinchuriki, said Naruto, as he could tell a lot of the members were about to yell, but were stopped by Pain. Naruto, we require the power of the Biju to bring peace, said Pain, trying to be diplomatic. That is why I have an alternative. Have the Jinchuriki join the Akatsuki, said Naruto, hearing mumbles throughout the room. How can this work? Asked Pain. Think about it. My village just kicked me out because of what I am. The other villages threat their Jinchuriki the same way, I'm sure. We go to them, offer them a chance to do a little damage. I can probably increase your chances since I am a Jinchuriki, said Naruto, while some of the other members started to talk amongst themselves. This would make things easier, but what about the ones that remain loyal? Asked Konan, as she knew there were some that still had respect in their villages. We'll just do our best with them, but I won't force them into joining. We could even cut a deal with some of the villages they're in, said Naruto, seeing the Konan nod at him. That seems fair, but to keep up our image we should keep them hidden until they're needed, said Pain, as he wanted to make sure that everyone knew the image of the Akatsuki as a fierce force. I've got friends in Wave Country that can keep them safe and hidden, said Naruto, earning a smirk from Pain. Impressive. I hereby initiate you into the Akatsuki. However, you are still a genin and need proper training. Itachi, train him in what you know. We won't make a move until 2 years' time, so I expect him to be powerful by that time, said Pain, as he ended the meeting. Itachi escorted Naruto to his room in AIM. After Itachi left, Kyuubi talked to Naruto. Well, what do you know? There is a brain in that skull of yours. Nicely done, my vessel, said Kyuubi, impressed with how Naruto handled the situation. Yay, things have definitely played out in our favor. And it looks like I'm gonna get some real training done, thought Naruto, as he could wait to get to work. You and I are gonna train together as well. With me and the Akatsuki training you, no one will be able to hold a candle to you, said Kyuubi, chuckling to himself. For now, though, I need rest. Got a bid day tomorrow, thought Naruto, turning off the lights and going to bed. 2 years. 2 long years had passed since Naruto was banished from Konoha. Some of the people that had come into contact with Naruto or were helped by him were not happy in the least bit. Wave Country had cut off all trade with Konoha. Spring Country was also ticked to the point where they didn't want another Konoha shinobi on their land. If things weren't bad enough for Konoha, Kabuto snuck into Konoha a few days after Naruto brought back Sasuke, and successfully got Sasuke to Orochimaru. Konoha was looking really bad, and this did not bode well with the Fire Daimyo. He pretty much told them to get their act together or risk losing all future missions to another village. And so Tsunade sat at her desk, working on paperwork with a little bit of a sorrow. Things were a little down since Naruto left. She missed the Gaki, always barging in, calling her names, and wanting to be Hokage. He always brought a sort of brightness to the area. But those days were gone now. The thing that got her blood boiling wasn't just the council, but the fact that his friends didn't seem to care he was gone. She just couldn't believe there weren't more missing him. It was just her, Iruka, Jiraiya, the Konohamaru Corps, and Hinata. Iruka missed his adoptive son and favorite student and despised the council for its decision. Jiraiya had set up a part of his spy network to keep an eye out for any information on Naruto, but unfortunately there was none to report. Konohamaru and his teammates were sad that their boss had been expelled from the village. Hinata, well, she was a little heartbroken, but her moment that she spent with Naruto before he left was comforting her much. She took out a bottle of sake and took a swig before lying back in her chair. Naruto, said Tsunade to herself, I hope wherever you are, you're safe. Meanwhile in AIM things were looking pretty good. Somehow, they had gotten trading rights with Wave Country, so they were getting much better supplies than before. They gave thanks to their god and angel whom watched over them. Underneath the city, the Akatsuki were training. Kisame, Hidan, and Deidara stood across from their training opponent. Naruto Uzumaki stood with a black short-sleeved shirt, black pants and black sandals. His hair had grown a little but not by much. Watching from a distance was Itachi, Sasori, and Kakuzu. For the first year of his training, Naruto worked with Itachi constantly, from ninjutsu, to taijutsu, to genjutsu. When he wasn't working with Itachi, he would spend training time with Kyubi, or Kurama as he learned to call him. Naruto now possessed Kurama's power and had had plenty of time to manipulate it fully, though he was sure there were still some kinks to work out. Naruto then started to spar with the rest of the Akatsuki, though not with pain, considering he was taking care of AIM as its leader. And here Naruto stood, sparring once again with his new teammates' teachers. Again, said Itachi, as Hidan and Kisame attacked from the front while Deidara maneuvered around to the right from Naruto. Hidan swung horizontal at Naruto, but Naruto ducked underneath of the scythe and maneuvered to punch him in the gut. As Hidan flew back, Kisame started to try and cut Naruto with Samahata as Naruto pulled out a kunai and blocked Samahata. Unfortunately, he couldn't hold off the raw strength Kisame pressing on Samahata to overpower Naruto. Kisame pushed Naruto back as he charged once again. Naruto regained his standing and awaited Kisame's attack. Kisame then shot Samahata forward, tip first like a lance. Naruto leapt into the air and landed onto one Samahata's flat sides. Kisame looked surprised as Naruto spun and kicked him in face, sending him flying. Naruto smirked at his handiwork, but panicked when he saw clay spiders attached to his body. He looked to Deidara, who smirked before forming a hand sign to explode his clay. The explosions kicked up dust and debris as Naruto disappeared in the confusion. There was stillness in the air as everyone waited for the dust to settle. When it did, only debris remained, and Naruto's body was gone. A shadow clone. The kid's gotten so much faster, said Deidara, looking around for the blonde jinchuriki. He then heard movement behind him. He turned around to see Naruto dropping down in front of him. Deidara tried to jump away in order to keep the distance advantage, but was grabbed by the cloak by Naruto and flung to the ground. Naruto then did a slight leap in the air and brought now his leg over his stomach. Deidara gasped as the air was knocked out of him. Naruto then kicked him in his side and sent him over to Hidan and Kisame. The group of three got to their feet and looked at one another. Deidara created a bird to fly on, while Kisame and Hidan charged with their weapons in hand. Naruto gave a slight grin as he pulled out two kunai and charged to meet his targets. They were 2 feet away from each other when a wall of paper sheets separated the two. Hidan, Kisame, and Deidara calmed themselves as they rested their weapons down and Deidara dispersed his bird while Naruto put away his kunai. Konan reformed amongst the sheets of paper. Pain-sama has called a meeting, said Konan, as the members nodded and before she started to walk upstairs. Naruto grabbed his Akatsuki cloak and made his way upstairs, and smirked along with Hidan, Kisame, and Deidara. When they got to the top they found Pain sitting on his throne waiting for the other members. As members took their seat, Pain stood up from his chair. Akatsuki, it is finally time to put our plan to bring about peace amongst the villages into action. Deidara, Sasori, go to Suna with Naruto and get Gaara. Take him to the base alive, and then Naruto can negotiate with him. After that I will give you future orders, said Pain. See the members he referred to nod before leaving. Good luck Naruto, said Itachi, while Naruto gave a mock salute. Thanks Itachi-san, said Naruto, adjusting his Akatsuki cloak. Wait Naruto, I have had something made to conceal your identity. We can't having go into combat with you face showing just in case Suna get back up from Konoha, said Pain as Konan brought forth a white mask that had a skull design with red streaks coming down from the top down the eyes and to the sides of the jaw with a red cloud on the forehead. I like the skull design, but how is this supposed to keep my identity safe? My blonde hair isn't exactly common in most places, said Naruto, picking up the mask and looking it over. There's a genjutsu over the mask that will change your hair color to black. Go ahead, try it out and see, said Konan, actually sporting a small smile on her face. Naruto gave an unsure look as he put the mask on. When it was secure, Naruto groaned as he felt the genjutsu take over. He looked at himself in the mirror and saw a figure with a skull face and black hair standing where he was. Not bad, don't you think? Asked Naruto, turning to look at the others. If you're done with modeling, let's try to get something done, said Pain, as each member left the room but only Deidara, Sasori, and Naruto left out of the village. Konoha a few days later. Tsunade was still at her desk looking over documents when a Konoha messenger burst through the door. Hokage-sama, Suna's cage has just been kidnapped, said the messenger, seeing Tsunade jump out of her chair. What? By who? Asked Tsunade, as she wondered who was strong enough to capture Gaara. Suna confirmed seeing men wearing black cloaks with red clouds on them. It's the Akatsuki ma'am, said the messenger seeing Tsunade grip her desk tightly enough to where it cracked. Get me Kakashi's squad along with Might Guy's team and deploy them to find Suna's cage and return him safely back to Suna, said Tsunade, seeing the messenger bow before leaving to gather the teams. So they're finally making their move, thought Tsunade leaning back in her chair, looking out of the window. Akatsuki hideout. Gaara was not having a good day at this point. A blonde-headed Akatsuki member had infiltrated his village and P approached him and a battle ensued. Gaara was winning the battle and even took away one of his arms, but in the end he was knocked unconscious by the member. After that he didn't know what was happening, though now he could hear voices talking. You really roughed him up Deidara, said a voice he couldn't yet identify. I should have done more. Look what he did to my arm, said Deidara, obviously the one he fought back in Suna. Don't worry about it, Kakuzu can probably fix you up with a new one, said the other voice once again. Both of you shut up, he's waking up, said a man with a deeper voice than the other two. Gaara woke up and found himself in a very large cave. He looked around and saw the people who were responsible for being here. They all wore Akatsuki cloaks and he recognized the blonde man he had fought earlier, but he noticed a man with a hunchback and a piece of black cloth covering his face and a man with black spiky hair and a mask over his face. Glad to see you're awake, said Naruto under disguise with his skull mask on. Don't screw around with me, you want to extract the Shikaku out of me, said Gaara, since he wasn't afraid to die at this point. We want the Shikaku's power, But how about we have a little chat first, said Naruto, sitting down next to a tied-up Gaara. I've got nothing to talk to you about, said Gaara spitefully at his captors. Not even for an old friend Gaara, said Naruto, removing his mask and looking at the shocked expression of Gaara. Naruto, you're with the Akatsuki now? Asked Gaara, as Naruto sat down in front of him. Allow me to explain. See, after my village kicked me out, I was forced to find a new home. However, Anbu and the Akatsuki attacked me at the same time. I chose to aid the Akatsuki and ask them to see their leader. They agreed, and that is when I proposed that the Akatsuki should not be killing jinchuriki, but rather they should recruit them. I sure you can guess by now that they agreed, and that's how we got here. So, what will you do now, Gaara? Asked Naruto, as Gaara was processing all of the information just thrown at him. I understand your choice in this plot, but I'm still surprised by it, said Gaara, as Naruto nodded at him. I can see why, since it was only a little while ago that we were playing predator and prey, and now we're supposed to work together. But we're getting off topic. What is your answer, Gaara? Asked Naruto, a serious look coming over his face. If you're sure that this will work, I don't see why I wouldn't help, but you still have people in your village that care about you, said Gaara as Naruto stood up from his position. And they shall be picked up in time, said Naruto, who turned to see Zetsu arrive out of the ground. Konoha shinobi are heading towards your position. Itachi and Kisame have tried to hold them off, but they're making their way to you fast, said Zetsu's black half, seeing Naruto nod. Well, I can't say I didn't see that coming. Gaara, we're going to have to put you in an unconscious state. We need Konoha to believe that they've saved you just in time before we extracted Shikaku, said Naruto while Gaara nodded as Sasori injected him with a formula. Naruto, Pain requests that you not take part in this fight, said Zetsu's white half, seeing Naruto in shock. Why, I'm perfectly capable of taking on my old village, said Naruto, itching to get some payback in for the past. He knows, but he need you to keep back on this one. He says to follow us and wait until Deidara and Sasori are done, said Zetsu's black halt, while Naruto sighed in defeat. Fine, I'll go along with his plan, said Naruto, putting his mask back on. Don't worry, kid, you'll get your shot soon enough, said Deidara, standing next to Gaara with Sasori. Soon, very soon I will have some action, thought Naruto as he left the cave with Zetsu leading the way. Naruto watched Sasori and Deidara take on his former team. Well, not exactly the whole team, since he left and Sasuke was gone. Now it was just Kakashi and Sakura, but they were joined by a random shinobi with regular Konoha Jonin outfit, with black hair and green eyes. This is just a random OC, he's not really important, just a quick replacement. Closing parenthesis. Also, they had an old woman with them, claiming to be Sasori's grandmother, and Sasori backed up her claim. After some talking, Deidara took Gaara's unconscious body in a giant clay bird's mouth and took off. Kakashi said that Sakura and Chio should take Sasori while Kakashi and the new guy chased after Deidara. Naruto, said Zetsu, getting the blonde's attention, the leader wants to talk to you. Okay, said Naruto, following Zetsu further into the cave. Once far enough, Naruto took his mask off, closed his eyes and made himself appear in a cave with the other Akatsuki members, all looking like holograms. Why didn't you want me to fight my old team? Asked Naruto, the anger present in his voice. You don't need to concern yourself with them. For now, you are only to be concerned with gathering your fellow jinchuriki to our cause, said Pain, while Naruto just got angrier. If that's true, then what the hell was all my training for? Asked Naruto, all the other members remaining silent. That was to prepare you for the imminent attack on the villages, said Pain, getting angry with Naruto. And what happens if I run into resistance? You going to call me back again? Asked Naruto, getting as frustrated as Pain was at this point. Leader Sama, said Itachi, getting everyone's attention, Naruto does have a point. We can't expect him to not take action until the invasion, and if Deidara or Sasori needs help, he is the only one close enough to help. Sigh. Very well then. I suppose I couldn't keep you out of action forever, but keep your identity a secret. Zetsu, monitor Deidara and Sasori and inform Naruto when one of them needs support, said Pain, signing off from the conversation. Thanks for the support, Itachi-san, said Naruto, who couldn't exactly read Itachi's face. I have no love for a village that does what it did to you for completing a mission. Might as well just cause trouble for it. Plus all that power is useless if you can't use it, said Itachi, earning a nod from Naruto before signing off as well. Naruto, said Zetsu, reappearing next to Naruto, Sasori is holding his own against your former pink-haired teammate and the old woman, but Deidara is running from Kakashi and the other member. You should tail him and provide backup when he needs it. Naruto merely nodded, applied his mask, and left out the cave via a secret entrance. It didn't take Naruto long to find Deidara being chased by his former sensei and his apparent replacement. It made Naruto want to attack him right now, but patience was key right now. He was staying hidden in trees above the canyon that Deidara was flying over. While he was running, Kurama decided to have a little chat. You've gotta calm down, kid, your adrenaline and anger are building up by the minute, said Kurama, talking to Naruto in the back of his head. I've been waiting for an opportunity like this for 2 years, I will not let it slip by me, said Naruto, keeping his pace so as not to get too far ahead. I know, but you have to be patient. Remember what the others and I taught you. If you can wait for your time, the victory will be all the more sweeter, said Kurama, as Naruto began to calm himself. Eventually, Kakashi and the Jonin, Ichiro, made their move against Deidara. Kakashi used his Mangekyo Sharingan to create a hole to another universe, and took off Deidara's right arm. Meanwhile, Ichiro created a wind blade and cut the head of the giant clay bird that Deidara was riding, causing him to abandon the bird and flee into the forest. Kakashi pursued after Deidara, while Ichiro went on to tend to Gaara. Naruto looked at Kakashi, but then looked to Ichiro. Deidara can take care of himself for a while. Might as well take down the new guy, thought Naruto, following Ichiro. Ichiro found Gaara still stuck in the bird's beak. After prying Gaara out, he checked to make sure he was still alive. Afterwards, Ichiro turned around to see Naruto standing before him. There are 3 of you out here. Interesting. So, what's your name, Skullface? Asked Ichiro, while Naruto remained silent. Alright then, guess I won't waste any more time. Ichiro pushed his hand forward and sent a force of wind towards Naruto. Naruto merely countered with the same attack, and proceeded to leap through the impact. He caught Ichiro in the jaw with his heel, resulting in him smashing through a tree. The whirlwind fist, a powerful technique, too bad I learned it after I found out my affinity, said Naruto, walking over to Ichiro, slowly getting to his feet. Okay then, since we're matched in ninjutsu, might as well use taijutsu, said Ichiro, popping his neck. You should have stuck with ninjutsu, said Naruto, walking towards his downed prey. Ichiro tried a flurry of punches against Naruto, all being either blocked or deflected. Ichiro then tried a head kick, but when Naruto ducked underneath, then tried a leg sweep, which Naruto decided to catch. If this is really Konoha's Jonin strength, then you have gotten too soft in your time of peace. Let me show you what happens when you keep up an unbearable training schedule, said Naruto, keeping a hold of Ichiro's leg. Naruto proceeded to elbow Ichiro's knee while holding his leg. Ichiro yelled in pain, holding his now broken leg. Naruto then rushed Ichiro with a hard punch to the gut. Ichiro barely had time to catch the breath he lost before Naruto back-fisted the side of his face. Ichiro stumbled backwards, tired and weary from the quick brutal shots Naruto delivered. Ichiro tried to attack with a slow, weak punch, but was easily blocked by Naruto, who retaliated with a hard elbow to the face. Ichiro stumbled back, and then was pierced in the gut by a kunai. You will be the first of many, whispered Naruto, twisting the knife, ending Ichiro's life. Naruto then made 3 shadow clones. He pointed to 2 of the clones. Turn yourselves into this man, and take Gaara to Sakura. Tell them that they need to give him medical treatment, and then disperse, stated Naruto, as the clones nodded and carried out their orders while he looked at the 3rd clone. Now then, let's cause some trouble. With Deidara was not exactly in the best predicament. He was about to get away from Kakashi. However, Might Guy's team arrived and intercepted him. The 5 Konoha shinobi now cornered him like a rat in a trap. Give yourself up, you're surrounded, said Kakashi, as Deidara was looking around frantically. No way out of this, guess I'm going to have to do a fake suicide, thought Deidara, as he prepared to start forming the clay in his mouth. Let him go, or your teammate dies, said Naruto appearing out of the trees with Ichiro, in a chokehold, poised to snap his neck. Ichiro, said Kakashi, as the focus of everyone was on the hostage situation. Let him go, demanded Lee going into a fighting pose. First things first, Deidara get out of here, said Naruto, as Deidara smirked and left the area. There he's gone, now let him go, said Tenten, keeping a hand on her scroll. Not until I'm sure he's far enough away from here, said Naruto, keeping a tight hold on Ichiro's head. Who are you? Asked Kakashi, looking at the Naruto's skull-masked face. My name is irrelevant, but if it would help you can call me Menma A.N. Yes, I used alternate world Naruto's name from Road to Ninja, said Naruto, still clutching onto Ichiro. Well, Menma, what do you plan to do next? Asked Kakashi, keeping a calculated eye on Naruto. Eliminate your teammate, said Naruto, pulling back to break his Ichiro's neck. No, said Lee, rushing in with intense speed. Gotcha, thought Naruto, as he let go of Ichiro, who turned back into Naruto. What happened to Ichiro? Asked Lee, who leapt into the air, and proceeded to spin kick Naruto. I'm sure you know the answer to that, said Naruto, catching Lee's leg and pulling him forward. After he pulled him towards him, Naruto's clone drove his knee into Lee's face. Naruto, keeping a hold of Lee's leg, threw him straight into the ground, knocking the wind out of him. Naruto's clone's swiftly leg dropped across Lee's stomach, causing him to cough up blood. Lee, said Guy, as the others prepared to engage the masked individual. Now, said Naruto, pushing Lee to the side with his foot, we can begin the real fight. Now, said Naruto, kicking Lee to the side, we can begin. Lee, said Guy, as he was about to rush to his pupil's aid, but was caught by Kakashi. Wait, Guy, this guy is obviously powerful taijutsu. I'm not doubting your skills, but we need to take this guy as a team, said Kakashi, turning his attention directly at Naruto. If you don't hurry up, then I am just going to have to make the first move, said Naruto, folding his arms. Alright, here's the plan. Neji and Tenten will attack and distract him. Once his attention is focused on them, Guy will come in and hit him hard with his taijutsu. Once that is done, I will attack with Reikiri, and end this quickly as possible. Ready, said Kakashi as the others nodded with his plan and now faced Naruto. Here they come, thought Naruto, preparing for the assault. Neji and Tenten proceed to charge towards Naruto. Tenten brought out 2 swords to attack with and swung down vertically. Naruto caught both of Tenten's wrists and kneed her in the gut. As Tenten lost her breath and grip, Naruto let go of her, grabbed one of the falling swords and stabbed her through the shoulder and pinned her to the tree. Neji, angered by his teammates' cries of pain, started to attack Naruto with the gentle fist. Naruto immediately started dodging attacks, knowing how dangerous they were from experience. Neji kept trying to land a palm on Naruto, but was missing Naruto by mere inches. Eventually, Naruto shifted past one of Neji's strikes and caught him with a right elbow to the face. Neji reeled back, but composed himself in time to catch Naruto's fist, and retaliated to strike at Naruto, but Naruto caught his wrist. The two just stayed that way in deadlock, looking at each other's all the while trying to gain leverage over the other. Naruto eventually monkey flipped Neji into a tree back first and got to his feet. Neji got back to his feet in time for Naruto to grab his face and smashed it into the ground. Naruto released Neji to find that he was unconscious. Naruto had very little time to take in the victory before he was back on the defense. Dynamic entry, yelled Guy, as he launched his signature flying kick. Naruto ducked out of the way of the kick and then attempted to catch Guy with a kunai. Guy grabbed the kunai out of mid-air and threw it to the side, and then proceeded to engage Naruto in taijutsu. Guy was the one mostly on offense, but this was because Naruto wanted to weaken Guy as much as possible. He was strong, but taking on a veteran Jonin would be a difficult task. Guy actually managed to catch Naruto with a right hook to the face. The blow forced Naruto back some good 10 feet, and as Naruto felt his mask he came across a crack. This put Naruto on edge since maybe one more good punch would destroy his mask. Time for offense, thought Naruto, who blocked past Guy's punch and countered with punch of his own. Guy and Naruto continued their fight, back and forth with punches and kicks. Guy then attempted a leg drop, but Naruto maneuvered under the leg, connected his right fist to Guy's stomach, forced the punch downward, and caused a crater in the ground from the force of the punch. Naruto pulled his fist out of Guy's gut and scanned the area of his handiwork. Tenten was still impaled on the tree and was struggling to free herself, though with the loss of blood she was growing weaker. Neji was still unconscious from the head trauma that was inflicted when Naruto smashed his head on the ground. Then there was Guy, who Naruto was sure was weakened by his fight with Kisame, otherwise this fight might have been much more intense. As he looked around he found something off, only just realizing what it was by looking around. "Where's Kakashi?" thought Naruto, who heard the sound of chirping sound approaching behind him. "Reikiri!" yelled Kakashi, extending his lightning-encased hand towards Naruto. Naruto turned around, as Kakashi was mere feet from impaling him. Naruto brought his hand up to seize Kakashi's wrist and deflect the attack from him. Unfortunately, Naruto could only force Kakashi's wrist far enough to miss his chest, but the technique skimmed the side of his body, causing a wound on his side. Naruto cringed in pain as he threw away Kakashi's wrist and kneed him in the stomach, causing both men to back away from each other. Kakashi was gathering his breath whereas Naruto was tending to his bleeding side. "You managed to take on all of us and took down all of my comrades. I wonder if you can still do that with a damaged side," said Kakashi, eyeing the bleeding side of Naruto. "This won't be a problem to take you down," said Naruto, though his side was still giving him trouble. Kakashi wasted no more time and threw a punch right to Naruto, but Naruto flicked some of his blood off of his hand and at Kakashi's face. Kakashi had to close his eyes to rub the blood, but in one swift movement Naruto put a kunai, stomped on Kakashi's knee, and held a kunai at the throat of a kneeling Kakashi. Kakashi looked up at Naruto with wide eyes, and in his eyes Naruto saw something that almost made him laugh. He was preparing to end Kakashi's life, but heard the voice of Kurama. "Wait Naruto, I have a better idea," said Kurama, as he told Naruto a much better course of action. "Don't worry, I'm not going to kill you. I want you to deliver this message. The Akatsuki is going to bring a new age across the elemental countries, and the ninja world will be shaken to its foundation, and you had best tell your Hokage that you allowed a member of your team to die on your watch," said Naruto, head-butting Kakashi, knocking him out. Naruto then decided to make his way back to Akatsuki headquarters, his work done for now. He was some 2 miles away from the battle site when he saw Zetsu and Deidara. "Thought you might have made it back to headquarters by now Deidara," asked Naruto, getting the attention of the Akatsuki members. "I'm still here because, well Zetsu is trying to find my other arm," said Deidara, who became angered when Naruto started to laugh. Well, we'll find it in a while. Say Zetsu, where's Sasori? Asked Naruto, since he didn't see him around. Sasori is dead, defeated by his grandmother Chio along with your former teammate. I have already collected his ring, said Zetsu, as Naruto took off his mask and bowed his head in respect. A great comrade lost before he could see our triumph, he will be missed. Come on, we should be heading back to AIM to report to Pain, said Naruto, just as Deidara stumbled upon his missing limb. Akatsuki base moments later. Do we have the Aikibi's support? Asked Pain, as the trio made their way into Pain Chamber. Yes, when the time comes he will join us. However, Sasori was defeated in combat, said Naruto, as Pain rubbed the bridge of his nose. Then our victory came at a price, he will be a missed member. Now, thought, we must focus on the continuation of the plan. I've sent Hidan and Kakuzu to locate the other jinchuriki, and when they have more information we will move. Until then you need to keep training. Dismissed, said Pain, as the members bowed. Oh, Konan, said Naruto, showing her his cracked mask and the portion of his cloak that was caught by Kakashi's attack, I'm going to some replacements. Sai, follow me then, said Konan, leading Naruto to a separate room. I was wondering how long that mask would last. Sorry, I know that a lot of effort was put into the mask. Though if I must say, there was too much design in it. I wouldn't mind just a simpler look to it, said Naruto, as Konan gave him a hooded Akatsuki cloak, hooded. Nice touch. It's a new design we're trying, and you're going to have to be shady in order to move about without your identity being shown. Here, see how this works, said Konan, handing him a Plan Hunter Nin mask. Now this is more like it, said Naruto, putting the mask on as well as the hood, simple but powerful. Thanks, Konan. Just make it last, said Konan, smiling as Naruto smiled back. As Naruto made his way out of the storage room, Itachi made himself known. You were very successful for your first time into the field, said Itachi, walking next to Naruto. Yes, and I saw something in Kakashi's eyes that has assured my resolve for our mission, said Naruto, smiling a vicious smile. What? Asked Itachi, as Naruto turned to look at him. Fear, and with that fear, uncertainty will spread into his body and the others, and our victory will be all but assured, said Naruto, as the possibilities passed through his mind. And when exactly are you getting her? Asked Itachi, handing Naruto a picture. Upon looking at the picture, Naruto realized that it was a recent picture of Hinata, obviously taken without her knowing. Naruto had told Itachi, as well as Pain, about his connection to Hinata. He later asked Itachi if he could get a picture of Hinata for him to keep with him, calling it motivation to continue. It would seem that Itachi obliged him to his request. You actually got it? Asked Naruto, sounding surprised. It was Zetsu, I merely made the request. When will you make your move? Asked Itachi, as Naruto's face made an uncertain, downtrodden look. I'm not sure, but I'll take whatever opportunity I can get. Thanks again, Itachi, said Naruto, as Itachi merely nodded at him. So what now? Asked Itachi, as he and Naruto looked out into the rainy sky of AIM. We wait for word from Kakuzu and Hidan. Until then I'll continue my training, said Naruto, as Itachi nodded at his words. A definitive first step towards the goal of the organization, and an attachment as strong as ever. Naruto continues his crusade for a better world, through any means necessary. You're telling me that one man did all this to you and your team? Asked Tsunade, as she was looking at Kakashi in disbelief. Kakashi and Guy's team found Ichiro's body and sealed him away until they got to Konoha. They later ran into Sakura and Lady Chio, who were carrying Gaara back to Suna, and explained what had happened. Sakura said that two of Ichiro's clones brought Gaara to her, to which Kakashi came to the conclusion that he must have done this before dying. After taking him back to Suna, Gaara thanked them for their help and was sorry for the loss of their comrade. After getting some medical treatment, the squad returned to Konoha, victorious, but still showing signs of being beaten. So, here Kakashi was explaining, uneasily, to Tsunade what exactly happened to him and Guy's team. One man single-handedly took out Guy's team, and then proceeded to injure him and deliver a message. Yes, Hokage-sama. I've never seen anything like it. I could possibly see him taking down Tenten and maybe Lee, but he managed to avoid and counter Neji and Guy, then still have enough prowess and technique to beat me, said Kakashi, still trying to piece together the whole situation. Tsunade sighs. The Akatsuki is getting bolder, this guy especially. His message promises destruction, but they've got to make it here first, said Tsunade, putting her elbows on her desk. Agreed, but if this guy is representing what the rest of the members can do, we need to deal with as many of them as we can, said Kakashi, dismissing himself from Tsunade's office. Tsunade decided to walk around the village to take her mind off of things. She greeted villagers that greeted her as she made her way around the market. Eventually, she found Iruka sitting down at Ichiraku's, enjoying a bowl of miso ramen. Hello Iruka, said Tsunade, taking a seat next to the Chunin. Oh Tsunade-sama, can I get you a bowl? Asked Iruka, as he greeted her with a smile. No, I'm not hungry Iruka, said Tsunade, as she looked at the wall of the restaurant. It's not the same without him, is it? Yay, said Iruka, a frown crossing his face. It seems like any minute now he'd be coming up asking for me to buy him a bowl. Yay, laughed Tsunade, who then returned to a saddened face. What do you think he's doing right now? Tsunade-sama, I'm not sure, but whatever it is I know he's okay, said Iruka, smiling at the Hokage. Naruto was running through an abandoned, slightly flooded building, as he dodged another fireball. He took cover behind a rock as he started to think of a way to defuse the situation. He was in this predicament thanks to one Jushinist jumping the gun. Hidan and Kakuzu managed to locate the Nibi Jinchuriki, ni Yugito. Kakuzu told Hidan to let Naruto do the talking and that they were there for backup. However, when Yugito saw them, she started running, to which Hidan started to attack her, calling it, wearing her down. Kakuzu punched his teammate while Naruto followed Yugito. Eventually, Yugito led them to this abandoned building, and blew the entrance, trapping the three Akatsuki members with her. She then started to use her Biju to launch powerful fireballs at them. Which is how he got to hiding behind this rock. Hidan, I'm gonna kill you, somehow, thought Naruto, as he saw Kakuzu trying to get close enough to restrain the Jinchuriki. Yugito saw him coming and launched another fireball towards the man. Kakuzu moved out of the way and extending his tendrils at the Jinchuriki, but Yugito grew her nails out and sliced them into pieces. Kakuzu moved back since she could have easily have pierced one of his hearts. Hidan decided to try his hand at the situation, and actually got close to the Jinchuriki. Yugito ducked underneath his scythe strike, and impaled the Jushinist with her nails. But Hidan grinned as grabbed her arm and brought his scythe up to strike down the Jinchuriki, who closed her eyes as she awaited the final blow. However, she didn't feel the pain and looked to see the masked Naruto holding Hidan's scythe back. How clear do I have to make this for you? We are not here to kill her, yelled Naruto, as Kakuzu appeared to take Hidan's scythe away. I wasn't going to kill her, much, said Hidan, as Naruto rolled his eyes. I apologize for my friend's actions, said Naruto, seeing Yugito not take her guard down. I know who you are. I know that you captured the cage, but that you failed in extracting his Biju. I won't allow myself to be caught, said Yugito, ready to fight her way out, but heard Naruto chuckle. You shouldn't believe everything that you hear, Yugito. You heard what we wanted the rest of the world to hear, said Naruto, taking a seat on a pile of rubble. What? You're just trying to confuse me, stated Yugito sternly, as Naruto took off his mask and looked at her with a smile as he pulled his hood down. What would I gain by lying to a fellow jinchuriki? Said Naruto, seeing the look of shock in her eyes. You're a jinchuriki. But why are you with the Akatsuki? They're after our Biju, said Yugito, as she could feel Nibi stirring around as she felt Kyuubi's presence. There's been a change in their plans. We are now recruiting the jinchuriki to this cause of bringing a new age to the shinobi world. If we stand together with the Akatsuki, we can bring a change unlike anything this world has, do you think? Asked Naruto, extending his hand. My village is actually very good to me, and there is another jinchuriki in Kumo that's just as loyal to the village. It sounds like you plan on attacking villages, and I cannot go along with this if you threaten my village, said Yugito, as Naruto put his hand down. Then how about an alliance? We could work out an arrangement with the Raikage that would help both parties, said Naruto, as he was trying to get some form of agreement from the jinchuriki. He might consider it, but Raikage-sama will want to know why I request this and will want to meet face to face in order to secure the deal, said Yugito, as she was interested at the possibility of joining with others like her. Very well. Let us know if we can reach an arrangement and we'll meet to work something out, said Naruto, bowing to his fellow jinchuriki. I will, said Yugito, leaving to return to Kumo. Well, not the intended result, but we have at least some progress, said Naruto, looking at the zombie duo. Good, but now I'd like to do something that will actually get some profit, said Kakuzu, pulling out a map of designated targets. Kakuzu, you never cease to increase your income, said Naruto, smirking as he saw Kakuzu glare at him. I have to take a bounty considering you took a large sum of money from me in a poker game, growled Kakuzu, as Naruto shrugged. What can I say? Luck just runs through me, said Naruto, while Kakuzu put his map away. Whatever. Let's go Hidan, said Kakuzu, as he and his partner left Naruto in the compound. I guess I'll head off, said Naruto exiting the compound and putting his mask back on. Naruto went into small village on his way to aim. As he was making his way through the village, he sensed a chakra signature, but recognized it as Biju energy. He closed his eyes so to better get a fix on the location of the energy. However, the sound of the fight seemed to be the answer to his question. While others moved away from the sound of the fight, Naruto calmly made his way to the source. Upon making his way into an eatery, he found a Taki shinobi being thrown right by him. He saw two more surrounding a girl with mint hair with a orange hair clip and orange eyes. Her outfit was white top and skirt and white arm sleeves and blue shinobi sandals. Naruto also noticed a Taki headband tied around her right arm. It's a retrieval unit, thought Naruto seeing the standoff. She blocked a punch from one of the shinobi and flipped him over her shoulder, through a table. The other shinobi attacked a bit more carefully and actually had a back and forth battle going. Naruto watched the battle closely, but felt the shinobi behind him start to get to his feet. As he walked back into the eatery, Naruto grabbed him by the back of his head and slammed him into the wall, knocking him out for good. The kunoichi continued her battle with the shinobi, but maneuvered around a punch and snapped his neck with a quick motion. As she watched her opponent collapse, she didn't notice the opponent she put through a table get back up. As he got ready to attack her, Naruto threw kunai at his neck, effectively killing the man. The girl turned the sound of a body collapsing on the ground and turned to look at Naruto. You must be quite the fighter to have 3 shinobi come after you, miss. Asked Naruto, seeing as the girl was still hostile. Fu, why'd you help me out? Have we met? Asked Fu, as Naruto moved closer. My name is Naruto, and I represent the Akatsuki, said Naruto, taking off his mask as he talked, though after those words left his mouth, Fu looked even more hostile and pounced on him. So, you just rescued me to capture me yourself. Sorry pal, but I'm not gonna let that happen, said Fu, currently on top of Naruto with a kunai at his throat. Hold on, I'm a jinchuriki too. I'm just here to talk, said Naruto quickly, as Fu looked surprised at what he said. How do you know that I'm a jinchuriki? Why are you working for the Akatsuki? Said Fu, as she still had the kunai up against his neck. Kyuubi could sense your energy. I just followed your energy to here. The Akatsuki is now just recruiting jinchuriki to help them, said Naruto, as Fu looked at him, but proceeded to get off him and help him up. Say I believe you, what do I get out of this? Asked Fu, as she waited to know her benefits of joining a terrorist organization. I can promise you revenge against your village. How does that sound? Asked Naruto, as she thought about it, then showed a smirk on her face. Alright, you promise help me take down my village and you got yourself a deal, said Fu, extending her hand. I was actually expecting this to be a little more difficult, said Naruto, raising an eyebrow. Well, if I can at least put my village out of my mind for good, then that's all I can ask of you for no, said Fu, who grew a sly smile while looking at Naruto, unless you want something along the lines of a date. Ha ha ha, sorry to disappoint you, but I already have someone, said Naruto, while folded her arms. Lucky girl. Nice to see there's still some kind of loyalty between people. So, where should I meet you for the attack? Asked Fu, while Naruto waved her down. Easy, we still have the other jinchuriki to recruit. Only when we work together can we do anything we wish, said Naruto, while Fu let out a sigh. Fine, but that means I'm gonna have to stay out of sight, said Fu, while Naruto decided to interrupt. There's a small town in the land of waves. Go to a man named Tazuna, tell him Naruto Uzumaki sent you as a guest. He'll keep you safe until the time comes, said Naruto, while Fu was actually surprised. Thought this through, haven't we? Okay, guess I'll head that way. Till later, Naruto Uzumaki, said Fu, exiting the restaurant. Naruto smirked to himself, putting his mask back on. He had just gotten another jinchuriki to the Akatsuki, and all without a hint of confrontation. Not a bad day for him in the least. As he made his way back and saw aim, he started to think about the group itself. Their members were strong, but if they were going to attack armed villages they would need to be at their best, Pain included. All he could do was continue his own mission of gathering the jinchuriki while keeping his own skills sharp. Naruto was making his way to his room in Pain's tower, when he felt Pain signaling for another meeting via apparition form. He made his way to where the other members were gathered in Pain's main chambers. You killed the head monk of the fire temple, cashed in his bounty, only to be cut off Konoha shinobi team and killed one of their jonin, and now you to go back and get his body for a bounty? Asked Pain, trying to comprehend the situation that his members have gotten into. We still need to draw income in for our operations, stated Kakuzu bluntly. I understand that, but there's a difference in making our operations have the backing they need and feeding your own income, said Pain sternly. To be fair, Pain-sama, Kakuzu did lose a lot of money to me in a poker game, said Naruto, who got glares from Kakuzu and Pain, but a laugh from Kisame. Kid does have a lucky streak about him, said Deidara, chuckling a little himself. Sai, go get some form of proof that you killed him and get out. I'm sending Naruto, because after you help yourselves, you can help him go to the Sanobi Jinchuriki, said Pain, as the shadows bowed. No rest for the wicked then. Oh, I also ran into the Nanabi Jinchuriki, Fu, said Naruto, as he saw Konan and Pain look at him and almost said something to him when he spoke up. Don't worry, everything went off without a hitch. Excellent work. Now, you should probably head off to help Hidan and Kakuzu before something else happens, said Pain. Naruto bowed in response, heading out to help. Naruto was easing his way to Kakuzu and Hidan's location to give them backup. The zombie duo, already way ahead of Naruto, were probably already in some sort of danger and or confrontation with Konoha forces. Naruto was fed the rest of the facts by Konan, who told him that the Jonin that was killed was Asuma Sarutobi, who Naruto remembered as Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino's sensei. If that was the case, then those were the forces he would be going up against. As he started to pick up his pace, Kurama decided to have a conversation. You know that Nara Kid has more than likely already formulated some plan as how to combat Hidan and Kakuzu, said Kurama, as Naruto gave a sarcastic, "You think so?" "Look, I'm counting on it, Kurama. He might have a plan to deal with Hidan and Kakuzu, but I'm the wild card in this game," thought Naruto, a smirk showing underneath his mask. "True, but don't let yourself become too overconfident. You're strong, but you're still human. Other than that, let's have some fun," said Kurama, chuckling to his host. "Look at who you're talking to," thought Naruto, focusing back on reaching Kakuzu and Hidan. Naruto continued on until he reached a wide area filled with dead trees. He hopped up to the highest branch on one of the trees and scanned the ground. It didn't take long for him to find Kakuzu standing off with what looked like Ino, Choji, and Kakashi. What was he doing with them? Back up perhaps? In the end, Naruto wasn't worried in the least since he knew he could take Kakashi no problem. It also helped that Kakuzu was there. The guy was as experienced as they come as well as almost immortal. One crucial thing popped into Naruto's head: neither Hidan or Shikamaru were shown. Guess that means that Hidan was the one who killed Asuma. In that case, there is nothing that can be done for him. Shikamaru obviously is leading him to a trap, and probably knows about his immortality. Kakuzu should probably be the one helped out the most at this point. Sorry Hidan, but you'll keep Shikamaru distracted long enough for me to cause some collateral damage, said Naruto, hopping down to the lower branches. He got low enough, he could hear conversation between Kakuzu and the group of three. You may have already have gotten one of my hearts, but that's the only one you'll get. And when I've killed you, I'll have the pick of the litter, said Kakuzu, as he glared at the three in front of him, readying themselves once again. I'm disappointed in you Kakuzu. You really lost a heart to these three, said Naruto above them, as he got the attention of everyone. Naruto looked down to see the obvious surprised faces of Ino and Choji, but when he looked at Kakashi it was different. Kakashi had a twinge of fear in his eyes that Naruto caught just barely before it disappeared. Kakashi-sensei, said Ino, as she looked from Naruto to Kakashi, is that the guy you encountered in the cage retrieval mission? Yes it is, but it seems like he's made a few costume changes, said Kakashi, seeing Naruto drop down to the ground. Well, it wouldn't look good if I went around with a cracked mask and torn outfit, would I? Said Naruto, as he noticed Hidan's scythe laying on the ground. You took your sweet time, said Kakuzu, as Naruto picked up the scythe and rested it on his right shoulder. Thought you had it under control. Or do you really need Hidan that much? Asked Naruto, smirking under his mask. Kakuzu was about to attempt to strangle Naruto, despite how valuable he was to the group, when a new group of ninja arrived. Naruto immediately recognized the trio as Kiba, Shino, and Hinata. He wasn't surprised to see Kiba and Shino, but Hinata, different story. Just seeing her face was enough to get a wide-eyed reaction from him, though his mask concealed it. He had seen in the picture Itachi gave her how much she had changed, how her short, dark blue hair had grown down her back and her womanly figure showing exceptionally well. However, he had to snap himself out of his thoughts to focus on the situation. Hey Kakuzu, said Naruto, gaining the aged shinobi's attention, I'll take the new group, you take care of your original mess. HMPH fine, said Kakuzu, his three remaining hearts returning to his side to engage the enemy. Naruto now looked at the group of three in front of him. Unbeknownst to the three, Naruto had prepped for the inevitable confrontation with his former friends. Even so, Hinata being in the confrontation presented an opportunity he had been awaiting for quite some time. He had to be precise with this, he couldn't be careless or things could turn for the worst. So, you're the guy who pretty much crippled Guy Sensei's team, said Kiba, getting Naruto out of his thoughts. I am. Whom am I speaking to? Or is it who? It's whom, right? asked Naruto. As Kiba was confused, Shino was unfazed, and Hinata brought herself to speak. I think it's whom, said Hinata innocently, as the masked Naruto nodded. Thanks, beautiful, said Naruto playfully, as Hinata was taken back, and Kiba didn't take it well. What's your problem? Yelled Kiba, as he didn't get this guy's angle. Just being friendly is all, said Naruto happily. Calm down, Kiba, said Shino, keeping stone face the whole time. He is only trying to irritate us. I try my best, said Naruto, shrugging as he talked. Enough. Let's go, Akamaru, yelled Kiba, as he and his dog rushed Naruto. Naruto smirked, as he lifted the scythe of his shoulders and began to twirl it in his right hand. As Kiba got closer, Naruto brought the non-bladed side of the scythe's head of Akamaru, while he ducked underneath Kiba's claw. Kiba saw his loyal friend get caught and sent flying, which caused him to go into a rage. Naruto continued to twirl the scythe as he saw Kiba constantly lunge for him, only for Naruto to move out of the way of all the attempts. Kiba left himself open for Naruto to strike him in the gut with the end of the scythe. Kiba gasped for air, all the while Naruto threw the scythe to the side and proceeded to seize Kiba by the throat. Kiba gasped for air as Naruto continued to squeeze, cutting off all circulation to his lungs. Naruto was not so into taking down Kiba that he did not notice Shino's insects encroaching on him. Naruto reached into his pouch under his cloak and pulled out a smoke pellet. Upon activating it on the ground, the insects retreated back to Shino's body, much to his surprise. What's wrong, Shino? Asked Hinata, as Shino could have just sent his bugs in to disable the assailant. The smoke is mixed in with a chemical that my insects can't go near. By covering himself in it, he's practically made himself, said Shino, but stopped himself when he saw the smoke settling. Untouchable, finished Naruto, as he now held an unconscious Kiba, which means it's just me and her. Hinata readied herself as Naruto calmly walked towards her. Hinata made the first strike against Naruto, but was dodged easily. This pattern continued until Naruto caught her arm. At that moment, they looked at each other, but was broken off when Naruto knocked her unconscious by a strike to the gut. Naruto flung her over his shoulder, and ran over to Kakuzu. Kakuzu, if you're done playing around then I think we should take our leave, said Naruto, as he made sure that Kakashi and the others saw Hinata on his shoulder. Fine, Kakuzu said, as his hearts flew back into place. This fight was getting boring anyway. You really think we're going to let you just go with one of our teammates? Asked Ino in a disbelieving tone. You follow, she dies, said Naruto, as he and Kakuzu turned and ran. Kakashi-sensei, we have to go after them, said Choji, fighting his own exhaustion. That would be unwise, said Shino carrying Kiba on his shoulders. We can't assume he's bluffing with the damage he has already caused to us. Can't you just have a bug track him so we can find him later? Asked Kakashi, who wanted the man stopped. The man coated himself in an essence that forces my bugs to stay away. I have no way of tracking him, said Shino solemnly. Sai, let's go find Shikamaru and report back to Tsunade-sama, said Kakashi, as everyone left into the forest where Shikamaru led Hidan. Naruto and Kakuzu were now heading back to Megakure with Hinata still unconscious. Kakuzu looked at the Hyuga on Naruto's shoulder and grew a smile underneath his mask. This would be the only way you could get a girl with you, said Kakuzu, while Naruto glared at the immortal warrior through his mask. Ha ha ha, laughed Naruto dryly at the low blow from Kakuzu. Why are you heading to AIM? I thought we had to head out to where the Sanobi jinchuriki. Asked Kakuzu, as he remembered the leader telling them to find the jinchuriki. I made a shadow clone that left with Deidara to save time. They should be there by now, said Naruto, as he continued toward the main hideout. Deidara and Naruto were making their way through a forest surrounding a huge lake filled by a river made by a waterfall. They had been walking for quite some time in trying to find their person of interest. How much longer to the target, asked Deidara, getting tired of all the walking around. They're just a little ways away. Do you mind waiting here while I talk with them? Asked Naruto, seeing Deidara gave an irritated sigh. Fine, but don't take long, said Deidara, folding his arms while Naruto made his way into the forest. Naruto kept following Kurama's reading on the jinchuriki's energy. As he kept following the energy into the deeper part of the forest, and finally came to the end of his search. Standing in the middle of the forest was a small man with messy, light gray hair, pink pupilless eyes. He wore a gray, sleeveless shirt with the Kurigakure forehead protector attached to the front, short-sleeved mesh armor over which he also wears a green poncho along with a turquoise sash around his waist, paired with a green apron over his pants. He wore a pair of brown boots, and on his back he carried a staff-like pole weapon with uneven-sized hooks with a green flower on the larger end. One of the interesting things about the man was his scar on his right cheek. I'm surprised to find another jinchuriki trying to find me, said the man, looking at Naruto, Yagura, former Mizukage of Kiri and jinchuriki of the Sanbi. Naruto Uzumaki, former shinobi of Konoha, member of the Akatsuki, and jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, said Naruto removing his mask and hood. The Akatsuki, said Yagura, narrowing his eyes at the blonde, interesting since I thought we were on opposite sides of the board. That's the past. We're now working together to set a new order in the shinobi world. Interested? Asked Naruto, while Yagura just looked at the blonde. I want something out of this new order of your friends. When we take action, I want my position as Mizukage in Kiri. Rest assured, you will have my cooperation from beginning to the resolution. Do I have your word? Asked Yagura, extending his hand to Naruto. I'll pass the word on to my boss, said Naruto, shaking the hand of the former Mizukage. Very well. I suppose I shall wait for your word then, said Yagura, walking in the opposite direction, deeper into the forest. Naruto smirked as he refitted his mask and put on his hood. The flow of the plan was going as smoothly as he could have liked. Tsunade was rubbing her temples with tremendous force, to the point that nearly fractured her own skull, at the increase in anxiety that she was currently going through. Once again she had been informed that a team that she had sent out to deal with an Akatsuki team had reported back with mixed results. Like the other times, one Akatsuki member had been dealt with while the other member was bailed out, hands down, by one of the greatest unknown shinobi walking this earth. Unlike the last time where the individual physically dissected multiple shinobi, however, in this case he took down one single shinobi, made another one practically useless, and then he changed the script by kidnapping a kunoichi from the team. To make matters even worse, this kunoichi, Hinata, was the heiress to the Hyuga clan, one of the most prestigious clans in all of Konoha. That alone was about as bad, crippling four of Konoha's top shinobi. Speaking of the Hyuga clan, its head clansman, who was also Hinata's father, had just arrived at Suon's office only to be told that his daughter was kidnapped by an extremely dangerous criminal organization. The man's reaction was a loud, "What?" causing Tsunade to rub her temples even harder. Tsunade-sama, are you seriously telling me that my own daughter, heiress to the Hyuga clan, has been kidnapped by the Akatsuki, and in the presence of 5 other Konoha shinobi no less? Hiashi Hyuga yelled, showcasing an immense amount of rage, considering the fact that the kunoichi was his own daughter. However, it's only natural for Hiashi to react like that regardless of his role as a clan leader. Unfortunately, Hiashi-sama, that is exactly what I am telling you. Do not make the mistake, however, of thinking that the shinobi present simply did not wish to help Hinata. The man who kidnapped your daughter was also accompanied by a man with multiple hearts, capable of keeping separate shinobi at bay, while another one went off on his own to deal with a shinobi just as dangerous. Meanwhile, Kiba Inuzuka rushed the masked man and was outmatched in every sense of the word. The man then covered himself in a gas that made him untouchable to the Abarame's insects, thereby leaving him alone to attack and take your daughter, Tsunade said, trying to keep herself from lashing out at the Hyuga as she understood that this was the reaction of a distraught father. Hiashi took a deep breath. Do you have any info about where they might have taken her? No, but we have been looking for their base for quite some time. If we find anything, we'll be sure to look for Hinata. Other than that, we can do nothing else for the time being, Tsunade replied. I understand. Good day, Tsunade-sama, Hiashi said with his anger still seeping into his tone before leaving the Hokage's office. Tsunade took a deep breath before laying back in her chair. She took a quick sip of sake before she heard her window open from the outside. Tsunade looked to see the long white-haired super pervert Jiraiya himself. Sounds like this guy in the Akatsuki is causing quite the trouble for you, Jiraiya said while sporting a mock smile at Tsunade. Save it, Jiraiya. I've had enough of the Akatsuki and this masked man. Have you found their main base yet? Tsunade asked, as she was ready to strike back at this group. Her anger was so great, in fact, that she was tempted to go to there and beat the crap out of the Akatsuki, masked man, herself. No, but I'm getting close. My spy network is triangulating it as we speak and I should have something soon, Jiraiya said while leaning his back on the wall. So now the Akatsuki has bumped up to kidnapping? He asked as the conversation turned serious. Apparently, though I have no idea what they could want with Hinata, it could be for the Byakugan, but Itachi is with them so that wouldn't make sense, Tsunade asked while she was laying back in her chair. Either way, it looks like I'm gonna have to speed up my search. There's no telling what the Akatsuki is doing to that poor girl, Jiraiya said as he headed back out the window. I know what you mean, said Tsunade as she looked back outside before asking him a question that she had constantly been asking him for 2 years. Have you heard anything regarding Naruto yet? Sigh no, and it's wearing me down. It's been almost 3 years, Tsunade. We may have to consider the possibility that Naruto might already be, Jiraiya said before the sound of a fist slamming into a desk stopped him. Not another word, Jiraiya. Your men just haven't found him, which does not mean he is. Tsunade roared as her angry face turned to a solemn one upon trying to finish her sentence. I know after Nawaki and Dan you'd react this way. I'll keep looking until we find him, one way or another. See ya around, Tsunade, Jiraiya said before he went out of the window. Goodbye, Jiraiya, Tsunade said before laying back in her chair once again, closing her eyes for a brief rest. A megacur. Meanwhile, Hinata woke up on a bed in a strange bedroom with one window and 2 doors in it. She got from the bed and walked over to the window and looked out said window to see a village of iron buildings and a sky full of rain washing over the city. She came to the conclusion that she was too high up to simply jump down, and thanks to the rain it was too slippery to climb down. She then went over to the closest door and found it was a bathroom. She then went to the other door and discovered it was locked. Hinata then pressed her ear against the door to listen for anything on the other side. It was then that she heard voices talking back and forth, though she could not make out what was being said. The Hyuga heiress heard the conversation end and footsteps coming towards her room. Hinata quickly ran back to her bed and sat down at the foot of the bed. The door unlocked and opened to reveal the hunter nin masked shinobi who stepped into the room and looked right at her. Relax, Naruto said under the mask when he noticed that Hinata getting into a defensive posture. You're not going to be harmed. You will forgive me if I don't believe you right away. I've heard about you and what you've done to Konoha shinobi like my cousin Neji, Hinata said as she was still on edge in front of the man. It would seem that my reputation has grown, Naruto said as he still tried to figure out the best way to reveal his identity to her. Maybe you would consider going out with a guy like me. My apologies, but I've got someone already, although I haven't seen him in some time, Hinata began to say until she looked over at the dresser next to the bed and noticed Naruto's necklace laying on top of it. Is there something wrong? Naruto asked although he saw what she was looking at as she got off the bed and went directly over to the dresser. Where did you get this? Hinata asked, her voice showing desperation in the question as she began to realize what was going on. I won it from a cranky old woman, but she had a mean punch, Naruto said casually as he walked up behind Hinata at the same time that she turned around. As soon as Naruto had said those words, Hinata's breathing was sporadic as she looked at the masked face of Naruto. She now had a good idea of who the man was in front of her. As one could imagine, however, she was still doubtful. If this was really Naruto underneath that mask, she had to know before she said anything else. She was waiting for him to say something else, but Naruto was silent as he waiting to see what she would do. As soon as he was about to speak, he noticed Hinata's hands moving up towards his mask. Hinata felt her heart pounding as she moved closer to removing the mask. Naruto himself remained still as this was happening and braced himself as he felt her fingers touch the mask. As Hinata felt the mask separate from his face, she noticed that the black hair of the man in front of her turned blonde, which made her stop cold. For those who may have forgotten, Naruto's mask projects a genjutsu that turns his hair black. Naruto noticed this and decided to help her out. He slowly moved his hands to hers and helped pull down the mask. After his face was fully exposed to her, Hinata felt her feet start to give out. Luckily, as she started to slip, Naruto caught her around her waist and held her up. Easy Hinata, you can't faint after not seeing me after all this time, Naruto said jokingly as the Hyuga clan heiress slowly regained her footing. Naruto-kun, why you're with the Akatsuki? Hinata asked as Naruto took his arms away from Hinata's waist. Yeah, Naruto said as he scratched the back of his head. It wasn't my first choice on what to do after I was kicked out of Konoha, but I've at least made the best of it. By attacking Konoha shinobi, you put Neji and his entire team in the hospital for weeks and also killed a shinobi. Not only that, you strangled Kiba until he blacked out, Hinata said. She could not understand how Naruto, her Naruto, could just do these things to his friends and home so willingly. I was banished Hinata, and like I said, this wasn't my first option, Naruto said before he sighed. Maybe I should explain how this all happened. He sat down on the bed and motioned for Hinata to sit next to him. After I left, I started to try and think about what my next move would be when a group of Anbu from Konoha, probably Danzo's lackeys from Root, claimed that they were under orders to take me to their boss. I told them no one was prepared to fight and run before Itachi Uchiha and Kisame Hoshigaki arrived to take me as well and ended up fighting each other. I could have, and probably should have, ran while they were busy, but for some reason when I saw Kisame in trouble, I decided to help him out instead and asked to talk to their leader. When they finally decided to take me to him, I actually managed to convince the leader that it would be easier to recruit the jinchuriki than to capture them. He made me a member of the Akatsuki and had the other Akatsuki members trained me for 2 years until I was sent out on the mission to get Gaara, and I assume you already know what happened from there, Naruto explained, the while Hinata remained quiet though attentive. I suppose you didn't ask for a start like that, so I can't hate you for doing what you had to survive your exile, said Hinata, though she's still not sure whether or not she still be with Naruto now, as that meant that she would have to fight against Konoha as well. There's one more thing I want you to con. I've also learned to control the Kyuubi's power, Naruto said with a sheepish expression. What? Asked Hinata, as she was very surprised by Naruto's claim. He decided to train me to control his power to better help in working with the Akatsuki. However, training was only one part of the puzzle, the other was that I had to take his power to show that I'm worthy of wielding it. After some time of training, I told Itachi what I needed to do and he decided to watch me just in case something went horribly wrong, after which I battled with Kurama. She looked at him, that's the Kyuubi's name, for a long time, and when I actually managed to grab an absorb his power, it started to affect me and I was losing myself to it. Just I was about to be lost, he takes a deep breath, I was saved by my parents, said Naruto, to which Hinata gasped. I had the same reaction when I saw them. You see, Hinata-chan. My dad was the Yondaime Hokage, and my mom, whose name is Kushina Uzumaki, was the jinchuriki of Kurama before me, Naruto explained. They managed to put some of chakra into the seal should the day come when I want to take Kurama's power. They hugged me. Well, my mom more than my dad, of course. He and Hinata laughed, but then they asked me what had happened to me. Upon telling them everything from my time in the academy to my being in Akatsuki, my parents were beyond angry. Dad couldn't believe the village he protected and gave his life for treated his son this way for completing a mission. Mom was just straight up rage and wished she wasn't dead to take vengeance on the village herself. When they calmed down, they reacted the same as you did when they found out I was a part of this organization. They kept asking me if I was sure, and I told them I wasn't going to turn back. With that notion, they helped me tackle Kurama and take his power in a barrage of attacks. With that done, my parents told me they loved me and wished me luck. I then started practicing with the power until time came for me to move. After Naruto finished up his story, Hinata stood up and walked over to look out the window. So now you know what I've been doing all this time, Hinata-chan. What are you thinking? Asked Naruto as he stood up and stood at the foot of his bed. You've greatly changed since the last time I saw you, Naruto-kun. You are stronger, far more violent than you were, and things you've done are horrible. But, said Hinata, turning around to see Naruto. But, asked Naruto, as he was desperate to hear her. I still see the boy I fell in love with years ago, said Hinata, smiling at Naruto as she put her hand on his cheek, but I must cow something. Ask me anything, Hinata-chan, Naruto said, as he felt her other hand go to his other cheek. What do you intend to do to Konoha? Asked Hinata, as she wanted to know what was in store for the village. If you're asking if we will attack it, then yes, we will attack Konoha at a certain time, said Naruto, wanting to be truthful to his love. I'm guessing I can't turn you away from doing this, said Hinata, to which Naruto shook his head. Then may I ask that my sister be spared in the attack? Certainly, as I am getting others out before our attack anyway, said Naruto, stroking her hair. Thank you, Naruto-kun, said Hinata, kissing him fully. They stayed locked in their passion, unaware that Itachi stood outside happy that Naruto finally got his love. However, he wondered why he did not tell her about the night his parents died. Naruto told Itachi that a man interfered with the day of his birth and took him hostage, but was rescued by his father, Minato. The man took the opportunity to kidnap his mother and extract Kurama. Minato engaged the man and killed him with a very powerful Rasengan, and then had to deal with the Kyuubi. Hence, he and his wife decided to give their lives to protect their son and seal the Kyuubi inside of him. Itachi would let it go for now and let Naruto have his time with his love. They still had a job to do, and maybe he could get young Hinata to join the Akatsuki. Sunlight managed to break through the cloudy sky of Omegakure. It then proceeded to make its way through a window and onto the face of Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto slowly opened eyes and cursed the sunlight as it had awoken him from his sleep. Naruto felt a weight on his chest and looked down to see Hinata's head resting on him. He smiled and proceeded to gently run his fingers through her hair, resulting in her shifting a little. They didn't do it, since they both agreed that it wasn't exactly the best time for it. The previous night, Hinata realized that she would be in bed with Naruto. She was obviously flustered and her frustration didn't ease when Naruto showed her that he was sleeping in just a pair of sleeping pants. After actually getting into the bed, she was calmed down by Naruto holding her close to him. They told each other they loved the other before they fell asleep in the other's embrace. Naruto was about to fall back asleep when he heard a soft knock at the door of his room. Naruto slowly maneuvered Hinata's head and arm off of his body, to which she responded by rolling over and releasing a moan. Naruto opened up the door to see Itachi, who Naruto could have sworn tried to hide a smile as he opened the door. These are Hinata-san's new robes as a part of our organization. When you both are ready, Leader Sama would like to see you both, said Itachi, handing Naruto the stack of clothes. Thanks Itachi, said Naruto, who was about to close the door. By the way, was that a smile about earlier? I'm not sure what you're talking about, said Itachi, turning around and smirking as he left. Naruto rolled his eyes and closed the door. He turned around to see Hinata still asleep, and decided it was time to wake her up. He set the stack of clothes on the foot of the bed. Naruto then walked over to Hinata and kissed her on the cheek, causing her to stir a little. Hinata-chan, it's time to wake up, said Naruto softly, bringing Hinata's eyes open. Okay Naruto-kun, said Hinata sitting up and rubbing her eyes. I'm gonna take a shower. Your clothes are at the foot of the bed when you're ready, said Naruto, gathering up his own clothes so he could change after his shower. After showering, Naruto put all his Akatsuki gear on in the bathroom. After finishing, however, he noticed that he didn't have his Hunter Nin mask. Hinata-chan, have you seen my, said Naruto as he opened the door only to find that Hinata herself was wearing the mask as she had herself wrapped in the bed sheets. Looking for something Naruto-kun? Asked Hinata innocently as Naruto chuckled at her. Your beautiful face should never be covered like that Hinata-chan, said Naruto, taking the mask off of her face. Nice of you to say, said Hinata, as she and Naruto leaned into a kiss, his arms wrapping around her waist. Come on, said Naruto, pulling away from her, we shouldn't keep leader waiting. Hinata smiled as she went past Naruto to take her shower and get dressed. He waited outside his room until she emerged in her full Akatsuki attire. The duo walked into the main chamber where Pain was sitting in his chair and Conan standing to his right. So this is the new recruit? Asked Pain, putting his elbows on his knees. Hinata is a capable shinobi, both in skill and in her Kekkei Genkei. She will be a helpful member to this organization in bringing about the new order, said Naruto, as Hinata slightly blushed at Naruto's words of praise. I'll take your word, but we should test her skill and improve upon them. Conan, take young Hinata and train her. We need her skills sharp and ready when we're ready to move, said Pain, as Conan nodded. Come along, Hinata. We'll begin your training at once, said Conan, as Hinata followed her out of the room. Looks like Conan finally has an apprentice of her own, said Naruto, chuckling a little to himself. Are you certain that she can be trusted? She has clan members still in the village and could turn on us, said Pai, while Naruto folded his arms. You doubt my judgment? Asked Naruto, raising an eyebrow to the leader of the Akatsuki. I think you're letting your personal feelings cloud your judgment. You love her and that could be hindering your choices, said Pain, as Naruto was not liking the tone of the man. Oh really? So did the love Yahiko have for you and Conan cloud his judgment when he made the sacrifice for you too? Asked Naruto, as he saw Pain's eyes widen. Conan had told Naruto in his downtime during the 2 years of training about the stories of her time with Yahiko and how she loved him. She recounted the many adventures she had with him and Nagato, from their time as orphans being trained by Jiraiya to the formation of the original Akatsuki. She then told him the moment when Yahiko gave his life for her and Nagato and how it changed everything. Naruto knew bringing up the subject was risky, but he took the chance all the same. It proved not well when Pain seized Naruto by the throat. You dare justify your situation by using my friend's dying moments as the same as you're trusting this girl. I should break your neck, said Pain in a quiet rage. Maybe you would rather do this face to face then, said Naruto, getting another wide-eyed look from Pain. So it's true, this is just the puppet. How have you figured this out? Asked Pain in a panic whisper. I've been around you for 2 years, and Kyuubi sensed something off about you in that time. Said you had chakra going through you, but it was highly concentrated in certain points of your body. So we theorized that this person was a puppet being controlled, and you just proved our little theory, said Naruto, even with his throat being gripped. What now, then, are you going to do? Asked Pain, since his answer would hinder on life or death. I'm not going to betray you, and I will not reveal this to anyone. All I ask is a meeting with the real you, said Naruto, as Pain began to let him down. To what end? Asked Pain, eyeing him carefully. Simply to understand why you are using these bodies, said Naruto, looking Pain clearly in the eye. After a few seconds, Pain gave a nod to him and turned his attention to the arriving Zetsu. I have news. Sasuke Uchiha has killed Orochimaru, said Zetsu, getting a shock reaction out of both members. We need to call a meeting and report this, said Naruto, as Pain nodded and proceeded to send the signal for a meeting. A few minutes later, the members, excluding Konan and Hinata, were accounted for the meeting. What's the news? Asked Kakuzu, shown in his holographic form. Sasuke Uchiha has killed Orochimaru, said Pain, as every one of the members has a different reaction. We'll so much for getting him ourselves, said Deidara, a little disappointed at the news. Looks like your little brother is making good progress, said Kisame, chuckling a little to himself. What's our next move then? Asked Itachi, seeing if he could find time to face his little brother. We should still continue to recruit the jinchuriki. You can settle the affair with your brother should you run into him, said Pain, as he made sure his tone showed that he meant the last part. Deidara, my clone should still be with you. Try to gather info on the Yonbi and Gobi jinchuriki if you can, said Naruto, as Deidara gave a HMPH at being ordered. Kakuzu, I am granting you permission to do some bounty hunting on your own. Itachi and Kisame, you are to wait for info from Deidara and Naruto's clone, said Pain, as he dismissed the members from the meeting. Now then, Naruto, said Pain turning to face Naruto, you said you wanted to have a face-to-face. After you, said Naruto calmly, allowing Pain to lead the way. Pain and Naruto walked up higher and higher in the tower. Eventually, they came to a large room, where inside 6 pods, 5 of them containing bodies. Naruto eyed each of the bodies and noticed that Pain was walking over to the empty pod and allowed the aim inscribed cover come over his head. As soon as that happened, the wall at the end of them room opened up to reveal a man strapped into an interesting machine. Said man had red hair, Rinnegan eyes, pale skinny body, and multiple black rods extending out of his back. So this is the real you. No wonder you use these bodies, said Naruto, walking forward to the man who was Pain. My name is Nagato, and yes, I am Pain. I use these bodies to provide a leader for the Akatsuki. With them I can exemplify the powers of the Rinnegan, said Nagato, keeping a watchful eye on Naruto. Why though? Why not present yourself as the leader? Why be a puppet master? Asked Naruto, as he didn't understand why a man with such power would limit himself. When I fought Hanzo that day, I unleashed so much power for that moment it crippled my legs and drained me. Hence why I needed to take these bodies to move around and to make appearances in front of the members. Thus, Pain was born and Konan was there to support me, said Nagato, still not completely enjoying the fact that he would be confined to this machine. Is there anything I can do? Asked Naruto, as Nagato merely looked at Naruto. I do not think so. Thought your offer is most kind, said Nagato, looking back down, only for his head to snap back up, unless. Naruto repeated in curiosity. One of the powers the Rinnegan grants is the ability to absorb chakra. It could be possible that if I can absorb enough, it might give me enough to repair my legs, said Nagato, as Naruto pondered his proposition. What do you think, Kurama? Thought Naruto, who was now face to face with Kurama. I don't like giving someone other than you my power, but I think I can make an exception this time, said Kurama, as Naruto nodded to his huge comrade and going back to the real world. Well, asked Nagato, as Naruto activated his full controlled Kyuubi cloak. Let's do it. What do I need to do? Asked Naruto, as Nagato was perplexed by the jinchuriki. Why are you going through with this so easily? Why help me get back to how I was? Asked Nagato, as he didn't get why Naruto was doing this. Because if we're Jiang to bring about this new order, then all of us, even you, have to be at our best. Now I ask again, what do I need to do? Asked Naruto, as Nagato extended his hand to Naruto. All you have to do is take a hold of my hand. Then I'll do the rest, said Nagato, as Naruto nodded. As soon as their hands connected, Naruto felt Kurama's chakra being pulled from him and into Nagato's body. At the same time, he could see the change in Nagato's body as a result of the absorption. The black rods on Nagato's back were being pushed out and his body was looking much healthier. When Naruto was left without the chakra cloak, he looked up at Nagator, who looked much better than he did beforehand. Nagato pushed a button on his machine that released him. Nagato took a deep breath and took a step forward out of the machine. Much to his delight, Nagato was able to stand up and walk forward with very little difficulty. How do you feel? Asked Naruto, as the leader of the Akatsuki moved about. I feel like new. Like I have a new drive in my body, said Nagato, smiling at the man who gave this feeling to him. So, said Naruto cheekily, what now, leader-sama? Now, said Nagato, putting his hand on Naruto's shoulder, now you have my full trust.